Hi everyone, I'm Tasio here. You can call me as TJ. And now's lesson I'll explain how to create a dynamic breadcrumb. This is really good. A dynamic breadcrumb to a dynamic header, of course. And that's it, guys. So let's start. Actually, let's see this working, right? So here I have the dynamic header and I have a dynamic breadcrumb and it's really working. But before we start, let's understand the difference between the both object that VueRouter gives to us. We have the $holder the or a definable object. In this object, we have the all configuration about the holder application. So we have the all holders itself. We have the mode of the holder and so on, right? So I have a lot of stuff here. And we also have the $holder object without the R at the final. And this guy is about our current holder, It's really simple words, guys. Of course, there are a lot of stuff behind the scene here, but the point here is when I go to $holder, I have the information about the current holder that I'm at that point. So this information is dynamic, and it's really useful for us because you can use this information with another important stuff to create our nice breadcrumb, right? So let's go here to VueRouter and see it. That object here, holder, right? So now I'm at the about page, and if I go here at the data, right, I have the $holder object. In this guy, I have the path of this page, this holder, sorry, and the name, and another stuff like current params and the method that I'll explain in just a second. And if I go here and click at home, you see that the $holder object changes. And this is really good. This is the key of our approach, right? Okay. Now let's see the code we should understand how it works. First of all, let's reduce it and see the about holder configuration. So the undynamic holder here about configuration, because I know the name of the page, so I don't need make it dynamic. I know that if a user click at that button, always, or independent of the user, the name will be about here. So we can create a undynamic holder here configuration, and then I will just show this information at the screen. And here I have the meta object, and I have the breadcrumb object, and the breadcrumb have the state, and that state is just it here. Because of this information, this name field actually I can use to push to holder. So if I go at the code and do this holder push and then pass his name here about holder, the VueRouter will know the necessary to go to this holder here. And the label itself is what we are using to create this label here. So what did you use? You will see, right? So once we do that, let's go to the breadcrumb itself and see how it works. Actually, let's close it for a second because we don't need this information right now. So if I go here, this is just a validation. So if you pay attention here, I'm getting the breadcrumb information about the $holder object. And once it's dynamic, I'm getting the breadcrumb from this specific page, right? Sorry for the noise, guys. So in this case here, for example, I have the powder holder. So in the name here, the breadcrumb here, you be this one. If I go here, what I have the same object that I show you at the configuration, right? This one. So once I don't have the definers array here, I just have the initial state field here. This validation will be false or undefined, to be honest. And so this bread const will be an empty array, right? And here what I'm doing just to put the value of the state inside of the bread const. So when I return that and use the breadcrumb tags to create my breadcrumb, I will have this guy here. So my computer breadcrumb will be like that. Really easy, right, guys? Yeah, when it's undynamic, it's really good. So let's understand how pets header works. Let's close it in just a second and then put this one a little bit here just to focus on the part of the first part of the dynamic header. First of all, I also have an initial state here. An initial state is just the part of the header that is fixed. You know, it's the same one in each header. So I have the initial state here, and I also have another field. In this case, I have the finders field, which is the object array, with object. This object has some key informations about our header. For example, we have the name of the header, we have a param of a header, because let's actually see the header, right? If I go here at the tags, and this is the header pets, I have the type ID. I also have not just the param ID, but I also have a carry with the same name, type ID, and this carry param has a value dogs. This is because the user click at dogs option. If I go here at cats, it will change. The type ID will change too. So I have a navigation. It's a kind of front-end cache here. I'm using the URL to put us really important information about the point of the user R, right? And I use this value with the combination of header, $header object to create our breadcrumb. So if I go here, what I'm doing here, I'm passing the name of the params, the car params. So I'm giving the finders array the information, the key information about that header specific. This is kind of boring, right, guys? But you will understand the point of it and the breadcrumb validation. If I go here at the finders now, in this case of the pets page, right? If I go here, pets page now, and I go with the $header, meta, breadcrumb, finders. Now I have an array. So this validation here will be truth, and then I will pass for this looping here. This is a map which passes finders array. In each finder will use the information about each finder to create a breadcrumb. So at the beginning of the stuff, I get from $header the carry param, and the carry param is this one, and I use this one to create a label. So I use the last label of the last index of array to get the carry, and the next example, if it could be, I think could be easier to understand why I'm using the last one. But the point is, I'm getting the some index of the finder to create using the carry to create a label, and I'm using the name of the finder, this one here, to tell to VueRouter know what's the name of that header that if you use a click, of course, will go, right? And I also have a method here on the pass definer, and I will create the object param object and carry object, because I also need this information, right? I need to know what are the index and what are the type ID carry, the carry type ID that I need to. If the user click on the breadcrumb, I go to there. So if I go here, I also use the definer, of course, because I'm passing here, and I'm getting now the params and the carry for this header. So if I go here at this header that I'm right now, and I open the header object, and I go here to carry the params, I have the not just the key of the carry, but I also have the value, this one here, and I have the type ID here also. So what I'm doing here, guys, I'm using that information in creating a dynamic object to params and carries. So this here is when the magic happens. I'm creating a dynamic object using the value of the definer. So for example, in this case here, the param string could be like this. Params by string, we have this value, type ID. If I create one object using this syntax here, the JavaScript will create an object with the name of the string. So in this case, we create something like that. In this case, type ID. And here, I'm collecting the data where the params object has this name. So it's the same if I do something like that. Params dot type ID. But the question is, the param string is dynamic, so I can use this syntax here. But if I was doing that undynamic, I'll do something like that, right? Just to understand. So I'm creating a map of params dynamic. I also do the same to current params. Here I'm just giving some example, right? And the important stuff, the final, I will have an object with a param object and all these objects from this array, right? So I will have something like that at the final. A params field with type ID and the value of the type ID. This is the point, guys. So when I go here to Breadcrumb and I close it, and I see the first index is there just the home array. The index 1 will have the label docs from this one. We have the name type, pet type comes from here, and I will have the params and the carry. So it is enough to VueRouter go to that header. And I think the best part of this is because if I go here and reload the page, we have enough information to also create our breadcrumb. This is really good, guys. So just need to pay attention about the VueRouter configuration and these validations here. This validation is enough to create our dynamic breadcrumb. Also, of course, our header config has this field here with this structure. Now let's understand how the nested header works, right? Because here I have not just the once, but I have twice nested header. In this case, for example, I have the boxer dog here is a kind of dog, and now at the header we have not just the kind of the pet, right? 1, 2, 3, but also we have the breed, and the breed also have an ID, and we also have a breed carry. So if I go here and $header and see my carry and my parents, now we have 2 fields in each one. And our breadcrumb, we have in the index 0 we have the same stuff, the last header, right? But this is not enough to go to this header here. If I go here and see, now I have a different header. Here I have name, pet type, and here I have a pet breed. And the params and the carries have 2 fields also. So at that point I have enough to create our breadcrumb. And this is really good because, and I can show it, like if I go here and click at boxer, I will get an error because now, actually it's an error from VueRouter because I'm going to the same header. So it's the enough to understand that when I click here, I'm going to the same header. You can also here see the validation. So it's the same path of our header. This is nice, guy. So let's understand how the Breadcrumb is structure of Breadcrumb, right? And here, what we have also a carry and a parent field, but now we have two index at each already, right? We have the high page and then have the bridge, and both are actually this carry parent could be different names, but I have used the same one just to be easier to understand. But the params we have, for example, type page from here and the bridge from here. And this is really important, guys. So in the carry now I have also two index. If I go here to Breadcrumb, now this map will be passed twice. So I will have twice here, and I will create now just one object with a type, but also with a grid. And about the get last label, I told you this it was important to get the last one. So the last one is the spread. So in this case, I'm always getting the last index of that carry array, because I'm putting the last one in this case with the dog, and the last one in this case with the breed. And I need this information because if I go here, for example, and change this order here, I will have something strange at our Breadcrumb, right? So if we go here, do that, and come back, now we have dogs, because now we have to get into the last one guy here, but actually I need not, when I go with that index of the fighter, actually I need not the type of the tab, but I need the breed of the pet. And I think is it, guys. Not sure if I forgot some stuff, but I really hope that you have liked it. If you get in touch, you can do it. Getting this project here to the code base, right? And you can also see each part of the approach. I have also some short explaining about how it works. And if you want to get in touch, please send me a message or open an issue here, and that's it. Thanks again, guys.